It's another Thursday night in October.
It's our second Thursday night in October, if you're counting.
Yeah, I count.
Do
count.
you?
Yeah.
You do count. You count with me. You count in my heart. You really do.
Last week, Betty and Joan.
Mm-hmm.
This week, De Palma and Hitchcock.
That's right. It's our fourth year of De Palma and Hitchcock. And tonight I picked Rear Window and Sisters. First up is Rear Window from 1954, directed by Alfred Hitchcock.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Hitchcock film, but I certainly love this film a lot. And every time I see it, it's better than I remember it was.
But here's the thing. So this might not be a lot of people's favorite Hitchcock, Rear Window, but it's on everybody's top 5. Pat Hitchcock, his daughter, says, this is Hitchcock 101. This is it. It's got all the elements of Hitchcock. And Peter Bogdanovich also.
Well, you've got Jimmy Stewart, Grace Kelly, Thelma Ritter. You got great performances. Raymond Burr playing the heavy, no pun intended. He is such
I'm going to disagree with you. You know there was some pun intended.
Yeah, there was. But I love him. Yeah. I love Raymond Burr. He used to disappear for like weeks when he was doing Perry Mason. I heard they had to go find him. I love a guy that just does what he wants. But then you've got the design of this film. Yeah. That courtyard of a Greenwich Village apartment complex. It's just beautifully done. It looks like theater. It looks like a beautifully designed theatrical set.
Yeah, and I think at the time, the most expensive, certainly the largest set ever built on the Paramount lot. And there's the stories that he built more than a dozen fully functioning apartments where the water would work.
Yes.
There's so many great little cinematic things about this movie. Like the first shot, which is Jimmy Stewart's apartment, and the camera moves around. It shows you the pictures on the wall. Everybody knows who his character is within the first 48 seconds.
Well, that's the brilliance of Hitchcock.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a very small apartment. The space is out there in the courtyard and what he's looking at. And if you look at this film, it's like he's like a peeping Tom in a way. Not really, but he's the voice.
Definitely.
He likes
some people objected to
the
it.
Voyeuristic thing about this, yes.
There were some critics who didn't like it just because they thought that was too much. And Hitchcock was like, yeah, of course, we all are. We're all curious.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know that you'd get a telephoto lens and binoculars.
No, I don't do that.
Right. I mean, so we got the icy blonde, except she's not really icy. I mean, she presents, Grace Kelly does that way, but she's incredibly warm.
She's like delicious vanilla. She's so beautiful, and every time she walks through that door, she's in a different Edith Head gown, and she's just stunning. She's something else. And I love that there's Grace Kelly, and then there's Thelma Ritter. It's just two polar opposite actresses, of course, Thelma being the character actress, and she's so funny and so good. And in this, she just zings them.
It's a Cornell Woolrich story. It had to be murder, but there's no Grace Kelly in the story, and there's no Thelma Ritter. So, I mean, like the things that screenwriter John Michael Hayes and Hitchcock added were like, yeah, they're critical to why this movie works and why it's something more than just a guy who thinks he might be witnessing a crime and investigating it.
It needed to be filled out. I mean, it's a short story. You've got to fill it out. And they made some brilliant choices in this movie.
Now, we're going to show the movie, but one of the things I like about it is that, like Hitchcock not being ashamed of it, Stewart isn't either. Like, people are trying to sort of, they're making fun of him. Thelma Ritter makes fun of him. Grace Kelly at the beginning is like, what are you doing all day sitting there looking all... And he's like, obviously this is what I'm doing. Like, well, how could you not?
Yeah, there's no shame behind it.
That's right.
That's why it basically works and they get away with it, because there is no apology for it. And also what happens in the end wouldn't have happened if he wasn't this way. So, yeah, I like that about it.
All right. The typical thing is we see somebody like Grace Kelly and we're like, what's she doing with Jimmy Stewart? What I hope satisfies even people who doubt the sincerity of that relationship is that the film shows them falling in love, right? I mean, they're already in love, but this connection that they have about this, I mean, that smile on his face when she is going to go over there. And he's like, you can't go over there. Oh my God, she's going over there.
I know.
Like, I love this woman.
She not only gets involved, she goes even further.
Clearly, obviously. It's a scary moment when Grace Kelly has the ring and she puts it behind her back to show Jimmy Stewart, which is also, by the way, telling him, hey, marry me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then Burr sees it and we just get that.
Oh.
Well, that's a great little bit of acting by Stewart, right? And he starts to panic, and that's obviously, then, like, he's not letting this girl go.
Raymond Burr's performance is all from afar.
Yeah, right.
That's what's incredible about it. And it reads so dangerously and scary, and his presence is pretty imposing. It's pretty scary. When the dog is killed, he's the only one that doesn't react to it. I just love the lives of these people. I love the composer and his parties. That's so New York.
That's where we get the Hitchcock cameo, fixing the clock behind the composer, yeah.
And Miss Torso dancing around in that couple.
And then the lovely little moment at the end of the movie of just seeing Miss Lonely Hearts up in the composer's apartment.
I love that.
You don't even expect that little bit of sweetness in a Hitchcock movie, that like, here are two people who desperately need to share their lives.
And his friend, Wendell Corey.
Yeah, Wendell Corey, the cop.
The cop who just doesn't believe him. He's so kind of
Right, he doesn't believe him
about it,
but
nonchalant about it.
But what I like, and where the next movie we're going to have is Sisters, Brian De Palma, where we're going to see incompetent police work.
Yes.
Here it's not incompetent.
No, it's not.
He sees it through. He does. In fact, he's got answers for everything.
It takes him a while, though, to believe it.
But he does take it seriously. He just doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it, and there's nothing there to believe at first. Like, why would he do it? We don't even know why this murder happened. We have no idea.
And I feel like Jimmy Stewart always, his performances all come from a very relaxed place, and then he just goes from there. And I think that's what great actors do.
Grace Kelly said about Jimmy Stewart that she found him to be one of the most masculinely attractive men she had ever met.
Well, I bet in person it was pretty...
Yeah, but I'd say
pretty awesome.
It's impossible for me to name my favorite Hitchcock movies without putting this in the top 5. It might not be your favorite because, if you really love Hitchcock, everybody's sort of got, and there's this temptation that you want to name a quirky favorite. Like you don't want to name one of the big ones like Rear Window, but I can't get through 5 without putting Rear Window in there.
No,
it's too perfect.
I love that we picked this. I'm glad we did it. And let's move on. De Palma's next, baby.
The film that he very clearly was paying homage to Alfred Hitchcock.
Very clearly.
Now Brian De Palma.
Brian De Palma, my favorite. Sisters was reviewed very well. It was the movie that really kicked off his career.
Yeah, he'd made...
It wasn't his first movie, but it was the one that got a lot of attention.
I think he'd made 4 films before this. 3 of them, by the way, with Robert De Niro.
I know.
Right?
This was the first one where he had the split screen and the tension and the suspense.
Yeah, really. And where he thought, I'm going to make a movie, the kind of movie that Alfred Hitchcock would make.
Absolutely. Yeah. And boy, it served him well. And he tipped his hat to Hitchcock, I think, all through his career. And he got criticism for it sometimes, but mostly he was very well received as a director.
Yeah, and so here, yes, there were some critics who were like, well, he's imitating Hitchcock. And you get the feeling De Palma was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You steal from the best, and everyone did.
Yeah, it doesn't need any explanation. Like he loved Hitchcock and he wanted to make a Hitchcock-like movie, and he does here. First of all, I love how this movie opens because you don't understand what it is, and we see a blind woman. The film opens undressing in a gym locker room or something, right?
And the guy watching her.
And there's a guy watching her. And look, this is 1973. This is a white woman undressing blind being watched by a black man. And you think, oh, this is some heavy part of this movie, right? And then all of a sudden it freezes and we're on a candid camera-like show called
Peeping Tom!
Right off the bat, you know that this is a salute to Hitchcock. It's literally called Peeping Tom.
Yep.
It's a game show. The game show host talking like this. What do you think the guy will do?
Is it, yeah.
Is he going to watch her undress, or is he going to be a gentleman and leave the room?
It's that thing that De Palma did that, where he would open with or close the movies with a dream, and you don't know if it's real or not. So it's kind of the beginning of that.
And there are a couple of dream sequences here. One from Margot Kidder.
Oh, gosh.
And one from Jennifer Salt.
Hallucinations and dreams, yeah.
And so like in what we just saw, Rear Window, then, this is a film where Jennifer Salt, who's like a local reporter who's antagonized the powers that be,
Grace
Collier. And she, in New York, sees something from her window into Margot Kidder's window. And that kicks off the story.
Margot Kidder's really good in this.
Margot Kidder was a really good actress.
She was a wonderful actress. She's beautiful. And then her husband.
Oh, my God, that guy.
Who's out of a John Waters picture.
Totally.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And even the actor at the beginning that's on the game show with her.
Lyle Wilson.
He's really good and just really underplayed. And it's actually filmed mostly in Staten Island.
That's right,
which is such an odd place to film a picture that is supposed to be in New York. But I think it's a great choice. And you've got some great character actors, too. Her mother is just really good. And Charles Durning, early in his career.
And also, he'd done one De Palma film before this. And Durning is just terrific.
And I know you didn't see this because it was Broadway, but he played Big Daddy in the 80s in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Kathleen Turner, one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
I would have loved
He
to see
was-
Durning and Kathleen Turner in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, yeah.
Like,
Do they still have plays? Is that still a thing that goes on Broadway? Is it still like up and running, functioning?
yes! We got to go see a Broadway show together sometime.
Do we?
Yeah, we do, Ben.
Oh, we'll go.
I've been to a casino with you. I want you to go to a Broadway show with me. You need to pay me back for that.
You didn't like going to the casino?
No, it's like being with my mother.
Back to Sisters.
Oh, sorry.
Here, the police are incompetent. They're bumbling, and
well-
in part because it's a woman. I mean, there's all this commentary running through Margot Kidder's situation and Jennifer Salt's situation that men think they know best for what women need.
Well, that is one crazy,
It's a crazy movie.
trippy movie.
Yeah. And the fearlessness in not having Grace Collier, played wonderfully by Jennifer Salt, who worked often with De Palma, is of not having her better, I think is great. The brainwashing worked.
It
you know?
worked.
You
Yeah,
know,
she
I know what
didn't
you're
come
talking
out
about.
of
There
it.
was no murder.
If there is no body, there was no murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of becomes the other twin in a way. It starts off so sweet because the couple meets off the game show,
on the
Peeping
game show,
Tom,
right.
and they actually go out and they give him, the funniest thing is they give him, his prize is dinner for two at the African Room. Backstage, he has that little moment of rolling his eyes. This is what they gave me. And
Yeah, and remember what she got? Steak knives.
oh yeah, she got steak knives.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Because, she needs to use them later when she thinks she's her twin,
Yeah.
who's been dead the whole time. I love movies like that when they're dead the whole time. But, he goes to get that cake. Olympia Dukakis, who's behind
Olympia Dukakis is the other woman. Yeah, not the one who signs the cake. But
and
the other
he's
one.
like, could you do it for Dominique and
Yeah.
Danielle? And she's like, that's a lot. I looked, when you see the cake, it's like, she didn't write that. She was so bad at writing it.
Oh, yeah,
when it's
yeah.
finished,
Right,
at
it's
the end,
too
when he's
nice.
bringing it to
Yeah.
her before he gets, the stabbing, the choices of the leg,
Yep.
the artery, and the mouth.
And the mouth.
It's so brutal. There's a lot of elements in this movie that are very late 60s and trippy, but also all that split screen stuff.
I mean, I like basically every choice that De Palma makes.
And you see this is the beginning of what he's going to do for the rest of his career.
De Palma had a whole 6-minute tracking shot where, as the cops were looking through the apartment, the guy's dead in the couch, and we see the blood dripping through the bottom of the couch more and more. But they couldn't get the camera down low enough and then also get it back up high enough to capture everything else. And it didn't look right underneath it. So he couldn't use it.
No.
So that's why I think we even got that bloody, because he was like, all right,
They had
just,
to do
just
something.
put a blood, because he didn't want, that's not what he wanted to do at all. Because it did sort of feel like,
How did they
bad
miss
are
that?
these guys?
Oh, they're
Right, you know,
terrible.
right,
And
yeah.
the fact that they put him in a Castro convertible is just unbelievable. And that's the other thing about De Palma. Always a lot of humor, tongue in cheek. I don't feel like he ever took himself too seriously.
And one thing that he's got here that, both these movies, right, there's a lot of humor in both these movies.
yeah.
But, Hitchcock never did this, which was that really terrifying moment when you realize that Grace is not getting out of the asylum, right? And she realizes they're doing no, I understand. That must be very difficult. Of course we're going to help you. And then she realizes, oh my God, they're taking me in. Nobody knows I'm here. To me, that was the scariest moment in the movie.
I
Yeah.
agree. I watched this like 3 times because you can't believe some of it. It's fascinating and shocking. And I think, and again, it was very well received. And he just tips his hat to Hitchcock in the most brilliant way.
And if it ever comes to Broadway as a musical, the
Sisters?
song will be what?
It'll be, you're a sister, I'm a sister, you're a dead man, I'm alive, I'm a sister too. You're my sister.
I didn't know there was a second verse.
Well,